This book was kind of weird, but also hilarious. Fan fiction by Brent Spiner is not a biography. It's not a memoir. It is a work of fiction. It's like if someone else were to have written a fan fiction about Brent Spiner's life while he filmed Star Trek The Next Generation, except that person who wrote it is actually Brent Spiner, who played Data on Star Trek The Next Generation. It starts with a little prologue of Brent Spiner's earlier career, because he didn't just magically materialize. He didn't materialize into Hollywood as Data. He had to work his way up, just like every other actor struggling to make ends meet, before landing the part of this Pinocchio-like robot. The plot is pretty simple. At the time that this takes place, they are into season 4 of Star Trek The Next Generation, so it has started to become a known thing. It has been gaining popularity, and the actors are becoming recognizable. When they go out to eat, go out to events, people know who they are. Hey, aren't you Data? Well, no, I'm not Data. I'm Brent Spiner, who plays Data. And the actors regularly get fan mail. When this book starts, Brent has just gotten a delivery from a fan who turns out to be a stalker and who starts sending death threats. The stalker has decided to take on the persona of Lol from season 3's episode The Offspring. Excellent episode, by the way. That's the episode where Data wants to make an offspring, and he makes Lol. It's super emotional. I haven't watched it since becoming a parent myself, but even just reading about it a little bit in here made me cry a little. And since the stalker has taken on that persona, she addresses the letters to him with "Dear Daddy," and it's super creepy. And it's basically the story of how the actor, Brent Spiner, has to navigate having his life threatened by a super creepy fan. The FBI get involved, he gets a bodyguard, he's living in fear, looking over his shoulder all the time. And even though this is a work of fiction, I don't know how much of his life during the time that he was part of Star Trek is fictionalized. I don't know how much of the personalities of his coworkers and co-stars has been fictionalized. For example, I don't know if LeVar Burton is really a crystals and incense kind of guy. He could be. I don't know. I think some real things that shined through that are not fiction is how Spiner feels about himself and about those coworkers and co-stars. You can see how he feels about his friends, especially LeVar Burton and Michael Dorn, Geordie LaForge and Worf, that he thinks highly of them. He admires Patrick Stewart. Although maybe it's a little unfair how much more attention Captain Jean-Luc Picard gets. He's very deprecating of himself. He doesn't feel like he's worth all the attention he gets, but at the same time it makes him feel good when he gets attention. And even though this is kind of a lighthearted, fun book, it doesn't go super deep, you can still see that the person Brent during this time is learning little life lessons. One of them being how the character Data is affecting real people. Because Brent wanted to be an entertainer. He wants to make people laugh. He wants to brighten their day, but he doesn't really think about the fact that real people out in the world will relate to this robot character that he plays. And he's kind of finding out that he's having a real impact on real people's lives. He's not just entertaining them. He's not just getting a paycheck. There are people out there who feel seen and understood because of the character he is playing. He's coming to see that Data is important, and he's the one that gets to bring life to that character. He learns that you never know who you might be impacting in your life. You get to see a little bit into the life of an actor, the long days, the horrible makeup he had to wear, 16-hour days on set. Will his call sheet have him in 5 in the morning or not till noon? He doesn't know, but he takes time to learn his lines ahead of time. He's not fond of all the techno-babble, but he does his best to learn it. He's a little jealous of how easily it seems like LeVar Burton can just rattle off all that techno-babble because of the types of characters they play. There's fun little weird things inserted into here. I don't know if hand sanitizer is like a thing for Brent Spiner, but he has a cameo in the show The Guild, and he very obviously reaches forward and squirts the sanitizer, and then in here it talks about going to a convention and he has his trusty sanitizer with him. So I wonder if that's like a thing that he's known for. I don't know, maybe. He makes a lot of pop culture references, but it's set in the 90s, so they're very dated, and weird things like he's expected to sign autographs at a funeral. It's not a super Trekky book, There's not a lot of time spent on set talking about Star Trek, but it's a fun read and I think fans of Star Trek will enjoy it. I have heard that the audiobook is even better because Spiner is the narrator and the other cast members make cameos in the audiobook to narrate their characters. If I do a reread, I'll definitely listen to the audiobook. And that probably makes it feel more Trekky for fans who want to read it because you're hearing those voices that, for me, I grew up with. I was born in the same year that TNG came out. Weird. There is some adult content, language, there's some bedroom content, but it's not explicit. There's not like bedroom scenes that are deeply described. Overall, a very fun book. Happy reading. Bye. It's Los Angeles, early 90s. The explosive success of Star Trek The Next Generation has rocketed the cast to global fame. Everyone knows who they are. Life is good, but... ...